Hello, I am Karen Ray. I'm the founder here at Fave Lifestyles. Welcome, ladies, to our girlfriend chats. I am with Coach Jackie Cote. And hello, Jackie. You're looking darling today.
Why, thank you, darling. Like my little tiara.
I think we need to have a tiara party one time. And oh my goodness, we can all be you can either be a queen or a princess, whichever suits you best. So
Whatever you feel. You get to be you, boo.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's it. That's actually a saying I had used in the past. You get to be you, boo.
Mhm.
So thanks for bringing that back up. That's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today, ladies. It's about being you and about owning that and what that could look like, creating that destiny for yourself. Jackie, you have helped so many women create that vision, open up their perspective to create that vision and to see what could lie ahead and what that not only looks like for your life, but for your business and in relationships in all areas. So so just tell the ladies a little bit about you and kind of a little bit about your story, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, I just want to thank you for having me here. It's always an honor to be on someone else's platform, but it's even a double honor to be with you because I adore you. Since the beginning of when we first met and when you started Fave, I love being here. So we'll talk more about that later, but I could talk about that for hours. So I'm Coach Jackie. I'm your freedom empowerment mentor. And where this has kind of all come from is after 30 years in the restaurant industry, I did a lot of leadership. I was always in a leadership position since I was 15, and the little local bakery threw me the keys and said, run the shift. And I'm like, I think that's illegal, but okay. Did it anyway. Now I know it is. But then again, I'm from Jersey, right? Almost everything's illegal in Jersey. But so, but that kind of really, someone saw that in me early on in life, that I had this ability to mentor others, coach them, develop them, lead them. Something I used to say in the industry was, I'd hold that gift of belief for you until you get there, and then I'm going to continue to raise it for you. And through that, I have promoted like 300 plus people. But what I didn't realize until I got fired in 2018, how much I was like saying in the easy when I was in that's what I knew. And I stayed in that industry for so long. I would have never left unless they fired me. So the best day of my life was the day that I got fired. Because I know, right? That's so weird sounding. Cause I had already kind of saw this coaching world, and I don't know about you, but I really knew nothing about coaching before it got introduced to me. I knew football coach, soccer coach, but this world that I could take all of my gifts and skills of what I had been doing for so long since I was a kid and put it into my own business, like, blew my mind. And so I talk about awakening, and that awakened me to what was possible that I could create. And from there, I empowered myself to step in and say yes to me and bet on myself.
Mm.
And don't get me wrong, that wasn't like an overnight I had a business. No, it was like it took time to heal a lot of the inner stuff, empower. And then lastly, what we're going to talk a little bit about, and I know we're going to hit on here, is owning who I am and I'm still learning that piece. Like, I think that's a forever journey of owning all of who we truly are and standing in that, and not unapologetically showing up in the world in your gifts and not hiding behind them, not hiding them because you're afraid of what someone might think or this and that. So looking at like what I didn't realize across my whole life, I've always been this freedom kid. Like, I'm the one who left Jersey out of my whole family of 8
Yeah.
kids. They're all in Jersey. They're all like picket fence, 2.5 kids, whatever. And I left like immediately, like post college and then post college. And then I always found ways to create more freedom in my life, even in an industry that's known to be very like lock you down, the restaurant industry, right? And so taking that fast forward to what I created today, I believe that we get to, through awakening, empowering, and owning who we are, we get to, there's my refrigerator. We get to live a life that feels so free in loving ourselves and owning who we are. And from there, we get to create more time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, health freedom, body freedom, all of those freedoms that maybe you don't have to the level of what you desire today. And you get to have it. Your desires are meant for you because they came from up above. So you get to have all of what you desire to have and create. And that's why I call myself the freedom mentor and an empowerment mentor, because I really want you to empower who you are, and create the life and become the freedom creator. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes, that freedom creator. So Jackie, so many amazing things there. So, the destination out there is to create that destiny for yourself. But,
Mhm.
a lot of times we have to kind of figure out maybe what that is because, so how many women out there, as I was thinking about our chat today, are their life is so consumed with the circumstances that surround them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes those doors to create that freedom thought of what you want even is shut down, or you can't see it, whatever. And so then you're gaining all these skills and all these different things too to try to be who you think you need to be. And then you stand in those skills and that's my expertise and that's what you stand behind. So you don't even, so it's like this whole process. Are you showing up as you?
Mhm.
Are you awakening and empowering that? And then, I mean, even just to, take that and own it. So then you can have an exponential impact in your business and in others' lives and and making that difference. So, I mean, for a lot of women, and women are along the path in different places. So,
Mhm.
but let's go kind of in that first spot where someone who has maybe never worked with a coach or really kind of even thought about this, oh, I could create my own destiny.
Mhm.
Where would they start?
I'll be honest, like that's not the way I thought in the beginning whatsoever. And it took me getting introduced to the coaching world and actually meeting some coaches and for me to awaken to the fact that like I wasn't going around being like, what's my destiny? Let me create my destiny. I want to be free. Like I wasn't, that was those words and those things. And I know sometimes we use them as coaches along the journey because we're already over here and we've done all of it. And I
Mhm.
forget, like, I got to remind myself of where I was, to remind
Mm.
myself of the awakening that I went through, to help people see, like, it's okay that you're not thinking this way right now. Like, you might not be, but here's what I always knew. And I think I always knew there was more. Like, I always knew in my gut that I was meant for more. Like, there's that inner knowing, that intuition of like, but then what you know is what your brain feels safe in. So your current surroundings and your current reality and what you've experienced is what you know. So that's where your brain wants to keep you. And it's not until we awaken to the possibilities that our brain can start functioning on what's possible for us. So until I saw like someone else with a coaching business making six figures doing what I do in my industry, I was like, oh, that's possible. And until that, so I'd never hired a coach. I had like mentors in the industry, but I never hired a coach. But when I saw that that all these people had people supporting them, because I don't know about you, I was an I got it girl. I didn't need help. I didn't need anybody to help me. I was like, I'm gonna
Mm.
do this thing called life alone. And no, but as soon as I understood the purpose of a coach is that they can read the label on outside of your jar. You're stuck in this jar. You're stuck in this place, this knowing that you only know until someone else can help see what you cannot see. And so when I brought on a coach for myself
Mm.
in a group program, one-on-one, all the different capacities, they can see what you cannot see. They can read the label. Like I joke, like, let's pretend you're in a mayonnaise jar. I don't know why I picked that because I don't even really even eat it. But like you can't see what when you're inside of it. And my coach was able to see what I couldn't see when I was speaking. So that's what I love doing. I love helping see what they cannot see, so that they can see the possibilities, and then they can awaken that vision that we always talk about and expand the vision of what's possible. Because I don't know, when someone said, what do you want, Jackie? In the beginning, I was like, I want to pay my bills.
I
I just got
know.
fired. I need money, right? Like, really, that's like expanded as my vision was, right? But
Right.
then, then they were able to ask, like, really work me through and helping me open up my vision and see what I couldn't see. And then there's all these sneaky, you said it earlier, like, there's all these sneaky little like stories we tell ourselves that keep us where we're at, because love, safety, belonging is all our brain and our being
Mhm.
wants. So if love, safety, and belonging relates to staying safe where you're at, that's exactly where you're going to be until someone challenges you. Until so
Okay. I think you're talking to me today.
that there's no coincidences. Never a coincidence in this world.
Okay, girls, and I have my notes right here because every time I talk with Jackie, she has all these little golden nuggets, and I'm just going to call you the golden nugget gal.
Ooh,
Um,
I like that.
But isn't that something how our body want, it is safe. I mean, I even building Fave, you get your little community and you get all these wonderful ladies. And then, but I this is what I love about being here at Fave and talking with you too, is because I hear what you're doing and you're challenging yourself. And I'm like, oh, she's stepping out. She's challenged. She's got a little bit maybe I could hang on to that little bit of vision that Jackie has because she's growing or making a bigger impact. Maybe I could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Borrowing someone's belief is such a good thing. Like you might not in the beginning, I didn't have the belief, and that's another thing a coach helps you with. You will you will borrow their belief in you because Karen, I believe in you way more than you will ever believe in yourself. And I believe like, man, she is meant to be like international on stages, like she electrifies the screen when she's there. Like that's what I believe in you. And if you want to borrow that till you get there so you can
yeah,
live in that state of being, then please
yeah.
do. And I will tell you all day long.
Yes. And isn't that something how people, like you said, because you can see the outside of the jar.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
see all the glitter and all the beauty and everything that's shining from within. And we
Mm-hmm.
can't see that sometimes ourselves. We're stuck in the mayonnaise.
Right. And we don't know your, like, I don't know your stories. And even if you tell me, I don't care. It's the past. You can't change it. So whatever stories are holding you back from your past experiences, you're living the definition of insanity thinking that, you can change those and like they can be different, like, and go back. No, like, and then we live in this other future worry state and we can't live there because I don't have control of the future. So why don't we, like, that third place that I always love to talk about of like the future desires of what we want our life to be like and who we're becoming and what we get to take those like thoughts and images and feelings and live them in today, and
Yeah.
then watch all of a sudden like our conversation leads to exactly what you need to hear because you said you want, you're desiring this next level. Well, I'm here to tell you that you are meant for that next level, so there's no coincidence that what I said aligns with you because you called it in, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So as we become awakened, so let's tell, ladies, first of all, who feels like they're just meant for a little bit more or a lot more? I actually had this conversation, Jackie, with a girlfriend earlier today. We were on the phone and she goes, Karen, she goes, I've just always felt like I was meant for more. And so are you.
Yes, 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 yes. That gives me goosebumps.
And I'm like, okay, but you need somebody like you to help you believe, help you awaken that process to see just a little bit further, to take that next step. And oh my gosh, and then how to empower that. What does that look like?
Oh my gosh. So it's so funny. I just had a conversation with a woman yesterday. It was like a welcome to my dogs. If you can hear them. But we were talking and she has this photography business, but she also has this like gift of like where like downloads come through her of information that she's like, I don't feel like I have in my system, but it's coming from other sources and it always helps the person, right? So whatever's meant to come through. So there's kind of this spiritual piece. And she's like, yeah, but it chases people off. People don't like, what. So basically she's in the closet of her gifts. Like she's holding her gifts in the closet
Wow.
and away from the world because she's afraid of what people, she's afraid of what people will think and what uh, she doesn't want to offend everybody, right? And I was like, then those aren't your people. So like when you own your gifts and like when you empower what gifts you've been given by God, universe, whatever you believe in, when you empower those and actually like really walk the walk and talk to talk, like talk to talk, or whatever that saying is,
Mm-hmm.
and own it, and every time it happens, like express your joy of it, and with the people, watch who shows up in your life. Like the right people will show up and be standing in the end when you when you empower and own who you are. I can't express that enough because people have fallen out of my life since I started this journey, and I can't tell you the exponential amount of people that have come into my life because I have gone on the journey. I've taken the risks, gone first, and willing to, put myself out there so that I could meet amazing people like you. Hello. Like and I will tell you, like, if those of you who are listening who are like in the beginning of business, every single person in my life, in my business, is brand new in my life since the day I said I'm a coach and I'm Coach Jackie. Nobody's from my past. So people think I gotta, you don't have to work through the people you already know. You don't even have to do that. You can build from where you are today. And you can have the warm market and all that stuff, whatever your business is. But I'm just telling you, like, you can be dropped in a city and you can create your own business.
Excellent.
Knowing nobody. So if
There's
you empower who you are.
So let's talk a little bit, because as we empower this, I think one of the stages that I'm still kind of at myself is showing up as me, and kind of knowing what that really is, because it's so easy to hide behind, maybe our creative gifts, or now we have AI. AI is creating these lovely messages for us, and but and maybe we haven't always discovered maybe who we are either, and what that really looks like to show up as us. It's easy to say, oh, show up as you, but what does that really mean? What does that mean to actually show up as that and own it?
That's a really good question. And it is like, that's why I said earlier, it's like an everyday lifetime journey of discovering truly like all the power within us. And I think we talk a lot about how we're scared of that power as women, because we know like there's something about us that knows like how powerful we are inside. So we kind of keep it like at the safe place, because we're always told to be like, be a good girl, stay humble. And I think we talked about that humble definition, like lessen yourself. No, don't lessen yourself for anyone. But to answer that question about, it comes from, how do I say this? Trusting those, like when you feel resistance to something, and it's something that you're doing because you feel like you should be doing it, or because someone else is doing it, or because now there's one thing to try new things and figure out your way. And that's how I totally have done this journey, is a lot of spaghetti on the wall, and like seeing someone doing something and I'm like, let me try it my way. But ultimately you're going to try a bunch of things, and you're going to take what you like that feels good to you, and you're going to create your own thing and design it. Now there's a couple thought patterns that go with this. There's the imposter syndrome of like, I'm just copying what someone else does, and there's nothing new out there. Everybody's copying each other to some extent. But when you take it and you add your secret sauce, your gifts to it, you're going to know when you know, because it's going to feel so good. Like, I think, and this is, it's funny. I would love to give like this, like perfect little cookie cutter answer, but when you know, and when you're in resistance to, I'll give you an example. I was told a couple years ago, about 2 years ago, when I named myself like the freedom coach, and she's like, you really can't sell freedom. So what else can we do with that? She wanted me to rename it. Yeah, it was, and she meant well. She's just kind of like, she's someone who she's like, I want you to be successful. So if she doesn't think something's going to work, then yada yada. And I said, okay. So I listened and I started to change it and adjust it, and I felt miserable, and I felt like I don't get like, and it was just putting that square into the, but I was doing it because my mentor told me to do it and suggested to do it. So I was trusting her more than myself. So then I continued, and I was layering in more coaches to try to like help me believe in me, and I felt like I needed all this stuff. And all of a sudden one day, Karen, I was like, I can't even hear myself think, because I had 5 coaches. So I literally like stopped all my programs, and I was like, okay, this woman's ending, this one. I got rid of them all, and I went rogue without coaching, because I needed to hear myself and like go, okay, what am I like? What's coming through for me, and what am I really like believe in? And freedom coach was one of them. Like, I'm like, I live in an RV. I live a freedom life. I'm a traveler across the country. Like, I am like the type of person that's free to try anything and take the risks. And this is who I am. And if I can help other people feel the same way, like, and have more time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, like, hello. So but I had to hear myself. And that's what I'm talking about, is like, when owning who you are is like making the decision based on what feels aligned with you, feels right to you, no matter what you think it might create or cause or in other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's an important thing it's that other spiral over there.
Yeah. What are they going to think? How are they going to judge me? Are they going to like me? Am I going to lose friends? I'm going to, and like
Am I
that
gonna make
woman,
money? You know?
yeah, like, is it right? Is it wrong? Well, you know what? Like, if it doesn't feel right to you, then it's not right. Feels right to you, it's right. And when you stay and honor that, like, unapologetically, yes, it's not all perfect. And then you're going to learn, like, what parts of that did I like? And what part, there's no mistakes in this world. We don't make mistakes. We have learning experiences that help us pivot to try to do something different that aligns. And over time, you like, hey, I don't like to be stationary in a house and have the picket fence, the 2.5 kid. That's just not, wasn't my journey. And that's okay. I've judged myself for so many years that I was like, why not me? Well, now I'm like, happy go lucky, living in an RV, traveling the country with my two dogs and my husband, and finally let myself get married and love, and that was a whole nother story. But like I just, and but this is not, so this, so let me just preface, because I know, like, the question that you're asking is like, but Jackie, really, like, how do we do that? But that took time,
Yeah.
and I'm still not fully there. Like I mentioned today, that I've been holding on to this program for a year, and I'm like, I don't know, like, is it right? And I kept doubting it, and finally I got to this point of like a little mini breakdown, and I was like, yeah, it's right, because I feel like it's right. Because I want to do it. And if for some reason 6 months into it it doesn't work, it's okay.
Oh, there we go. You know what? And as you were sitting here following our intuition,
Yes.
and that is one thing I think over the last 5 years I've had to start trusting a little bit, is my
Mhm.
intuition. And it's like, is
Mhm.
this, whether it's your values, your standards, or aligned, whatever word, whatever you're tapping into, um, you know, is that, is that where you're at? And if that is who you, if that feels good, yeah, that's who you
Mhm.
are. And then to take it to that next step too, to be okay with if it doesn't work out, what you're doing.
Yeah, there's no failure. And like it's
Yeah.
truly like failure is just, I mean, I don't know how, there's an acronym for it, but I don't remember it. Um like how it just pivots you in another direction, and that's it. You know that, I mean, and I know it doesn't feel great in the moment when, like, you put out something and nobody shows up for your workshop, or nobody signs up for your program, or you're like, my goodness. So here's you'll like this. Here's one of the biggest things that I've learned. Whenever I feel any kind of negativity or resistance or this and that, I'm like, what inside of me needs to heal? What is this a reaction to of my own self? Because 99% of the time it has nothing to do with, like, oh, they didn't, and they, it has to do with, like, okay, where's my energy? Is my, give me an example. My retreat, first one sold out in 14 days.
Yeah.
Second one, I got so in my head about having to reproduce the same thing, didn't sell at all. For like, I got like, let me phrase that. I got like 3 people versus 18. And then it was a struggle. Then it was a challenge. And then I was like doubting myself. And then I was like, should I really even be doing retreats again? Like, I went down this road. My energy didn't support what I wanted the turnout to be. My energy and belief didn't match up with what I wanted my results to be.
Yeah, and you know what? So here's one of the themes that we did today in our biz chats at Faith. You don't have to do it alone. And
Yes.
to change that energy around that, sometimes maybe you need a coach to just come and believe in you again.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes the it can be just like a biz girlfriend, like in Faith. Like, it's just like okay, I think it was one of our biz chats where I was like, you know what? I just discovered, like, I think I'm gonna change my retreat from being big to small, make it a business retreat, versus the other one was more of like the inner work and the releasing of like old stories and stuff. And not that I do that work no matter what, but I pivoted and I changed it, and I got a different size house, and I like started, and now it's like this beautiful small container that's ready to go in November with 6 people, and then
Oh.
so not making it wrong that it didn't turn out under the first vision, making it right the way it's meant to turn out.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good girls. So we can just, and we are poised to pivot. We have all learned that if just because it doesn't work out, like, you just recreated it into
Mm-hmm.
something even more beautiful.
And you know why we get to do that? Because we're the owners of our business.
Yeah.
Like we get to change that at any given moment, and no one will tell you don't do that because it's your business. You can
Yeah.
change in a conversation with a client. You can change exactly what your offer is in that moment. I just had that conversation with my people. I'm like, you get to do whatever you want to do in your business. Now we have mentors to help us
Yeah.
create what that is and help pull that out of us. Don't get me wrong, like that's hard to find sometimes until like the women I know that you've experienced across Fave and all the beautiful women you've brought in, how they've helped you pull out different things
Yeah.
and help you create what you've created today. But ultimately, it's been you creating it. It's just other people helping you see it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing because we need women to help us see sometimes, like you said, the outside of the jar.
Yeah,
Excellent.
exactly.
And that's why they need you because we need to see help expand our vision, help have somebody believe in us, help us believe in ourselves, and then empower that and then actually own it. Oh my,
Yes.
look at us go.
And something else you brought up about not doing it alone, like that's why I've stayed with Faye for so long. It's like we're not in this journey alone. You never know what nugget you're going to get from somebody on every call that we have with Fave. And what just opened my mind this past week was like, um, I don't have to execute what I do alone either. So as a coach, I have programs where it's mostly been like one-on-one coaching with me and me running masterminds and running little group programs, my pop-up programs, my membership. And through my membership, I realized as I brought in guest experts, I'm like, oh, like I know I'm not the expert of everything, right? I can't be the jack of all trades. And I've just over the past few years working with my clients and working with different, I've found, oh, this person's the expert in finances that I can bring her to the table for my clients. So, like this next program, my mastermind that I'm revamping for 2024, I'm bringing in 5 associate coaches that do things in realms of health and wellness, finances, productivity, behind the scenes technology. Because oh gosh, I can't tell you how many women have been stopped by like the technology side. Like I can't
Right.
do it because and a confidence coach, confidence in relationships and communication coach. I can do all that, but I don't have enough time in like 60 minutes or 90 minutes with somebody once a week or every other week to cover all of that. But if I can have other people support them at the same time, and then I'm the one who just kind of like takes what they've learned from those people and like gets it to be ingrained, embodied in them, it's golden. So
It is golden.
we do not have to deliver this alone either. Like not do we need support, but we also don't have to like deliver what we do alone.
Yeah. And I just love seeing women come together and lifting each other up. Isn't that really just what it's about? Because we
Yeah.
all, there's so much abundance out there that we all get to flourish from that and benefit. So, Jackie, so excited! I'm so excited for the ladies to come on part of your 2024 new program that you're launching, and just love it and expanding that impact, and just seeing these ladies make a difference. And just after working with you, it's just amazing. So, as we close out, just what is something that you've loved about Fave, something that's magical?
Excuse me. So Fave, I mean, I remember when you started it and you're like, would you come on board with me in the beginning here? And I'm like, sure, let's do it. And I'm still here. How long, when was that? Like year,
I think it's like 2 years ago
two
now.
years ago, right?
Yeah,
God, at times I feel like we
yeah,
just met. Like in a good way, in a good way.
yeah.
Because I don't think we're getting any older. That's why I think it's great.
No, no.
We're only getting younger. So
My
um
hair's getting blonder.
I love the diversity of who you bring to the group and how each person is so supportive. And it's not just like everybody doesn't have to do business with each other to support each other, and yet they do. They're very like crosses over, and it every like there's so many different people at different parts. I think you spoke in the beginning of the call, parts of the journey. You said like, okay, tell me about the beginning of the journey and what you support, but all your women fit a different part of the journey.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan and a huge advocate of helping people find the right thing at the right time for what they need. And sometimes it's multiple people, but I've watched people invest in something that they shouldn't invest in until they're at like the 6-figure or more mark in their business and they're brand new. and they're doing something that they don't like. You don't need the big fancy website early on in your business. You don't. That just holds you back from getting yourself out there. But then you have people who do amazing websites in your group that when the timing's right, then they can plug into that person. But that's
Mm.
not the first thing you have put your money in. Get a coach before you get a website.
Yes.
You know, get let's find out who your ideal client is and your need, like, and who you work with and what your magic is, and awaken all of that and empower that, and then take all that and dump it into a website. But a lot of people are taught, like, I need the bells and whistles first. And what I love about your group, I love our biz chats, by the way. That's the number one thing. But the what I love about your group is that there's people to fit along the whole journey that'll help you with nuggets, whether you hire them or not. They're still supporting you in those biz chats.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. And yes, and ladies, we are journeying together here at Fave. We're doing it life together, not just life but business together, because so much of what we do is our mindset, developing us, and then putting that into our business and showing up confidently and making a difference as we go along. So, Jackie, thank you for joining us today, and thanks for all the golden nuggets again.
Love
And
it.
I'll look forward to journeying with you. So, ladies, have a
Yes.
great day.
Thank you.
Bye now.